I think Saket is yet not joined, so let's actually start. He will get the recording. Okay. So it's actually admin at the rate of Egate. He logged in. Okay. So yesterday actually we discussed some of the things, and day before that actually we talked about the different type of flows which is available in Pega. Okay. So we carry on. Actually, like today we are going to talk about the UI concept. What is the different UI concept which is available in Pega? Okay. So what is UI? Okay. What is the importance of UI? Actually, if you can see about the importance of UI. So if you see this screen, right, actually the Designer Studio, right? So in this, if you can see, everything is actually in a proper place, okay? You have separate, actually many information you can get it in a single place, right? So you have menu options so that you can able to get all the things from here. You have multiple menu options, search feature, menus and all that, work area, right? So this is if you properly designed in a UI way, right? So that actually the look and feel of it, the consistency of your application and the ergonomics actually like if you say something like this A, if you're not able to see it, you need to scroll it and then you need to get it, right? So actually it will take time to get it that okay if you have log off or not. So if this A will be not displayed to you here, what will happen? Actually like you, oh how you're going to log off, right? You will not able to find that. So whenever you are designing an UI, so that you need to make sure that like it's with the organization branding you are following, whatever the the color combination, font size. Okay, so that is actually part of the taxonomy. Actually, like that it should be actually like organization level standard. Actually, like, because you are not going to build the single application for that organization. They may have other Java applications or other SAP or other things actually like they are following a particular standard for their websites and all that. So Pega application need to be customized or branding with that one. Okay, so that you need to check with the consistency, the branding, okay, and the way actually the user. Actually, you need to think about the user how he is going to use. Okay, so if you are feeling difficulty, he may also feel the same difficulty in that one. So when we are designing the UI, we need to take care of all that things. Okay, so that actually one thing. Apart from the ergonomics, so number of clicks should be less. Actually, like if you want to get some information, right? How are you going to get the information? If I have to click 3 times to get one information, and if I click that in same information with one click, so I'll save 2 clicks from the user point of view. So that also like sometimes actually people think on that point of view that the information, how that information is available to you. Okay. And then that I told about the this one. So if you see this option is actually not visible, and actually you have screen as a horizontal scroll bar, and you need to scroll it to get that operator menu. So every time actually if you need to log off, you scroll down and then you will find the information. So that's again the usability guardrails which is defined by the Pega. So we should design the screen which says that all the information should be without horizontal scroll bar, as actually like if you can do. Don't use horizontal scroll bar because horizontal scroll bar people are not habituated to use that. They actually habituated with the horizontal scroll bar, not with the vertical scroll bar, not with the horizontal one. So that also when we are designing the UI, we should be take care of that one. Okay. So these are the some of the concepts. And another thing, we need to design the UI with the intent, right? What is actually dynamically. So if you say it's like you are getting the customer details, right? And With the customer detail, like if you say, like if you say single, you don't want his wife name. If it is married, you want his dependent, my like wives and children's details. Okay. And if it is like widowed or anything else, you want his date of that one when it was happened, anniversary date, like that. You want something dates with respective to that. So you need to design a dynamically, like based on the action, user action, you want to prompt him to get some more details onto that, and unnecessary information will be not pop up. So that we can do with the dynamic UI concept. So all the properties forms actually, like they have different concepts with that visibility, disability, and event action pairs in the UI. So that we can achieve from the dynamic UI. Okay. So that is actually like you can define the intent driven UI. So that based on your user intent, you are going to display the information like that way. Okay. So if you say click of a button, it should open the a model window where actually it will display the information about the product and all that. So that you can design on the click of a button. So like we can say that that's the part of the dynamic UI or advanced UI concept. Okay. So let's actually like start with the UI concept. So the basic, the first thing in the UI in Pega is called as portal. Okay. This is the portal. So portal, if you open this portal rule, there are two types of portal. One is the user portal and another is the developer portal. So if you see, want to see this portal, the access group, we are able to see that out. So in access group, we define the which portal is going to use, right? So this is the developer portal. So that portal we have this one, Designer Studio portal. Okay. So in this portal, you can see what is the type of role. So first thing is the user or a developer. Okay. So that thing will be there in the role, and then there is a type. Okay, composite or custom. Composite means there will be a layout will be there in that one, and custom you want to design it in your own way, so that you can choose that way. Okay, user or composite. So that is like that thing, and then interface. Okay, so basically we called it like the look and feel, how that will be going to be decided. So there is a CSS, actually like a lot of CSS has written, so that you can see for the Designer Studio there is a scheme rule. Okay, that actually in Pega we call it scheme rule, that will decide the look and feel, how you want to see your anything, like if you are using a drop down, if you are using a radio button, and if you are using a checkbox, if you are, so for a label, for any text, any date control, how that look and feel should be displayed to the user. So that thing we can achieve from the scheme rule. So I'll show you what is scheme rule. Okay. Yeah, and portal doesn't contain any UI element. So portal is just actually is the name which contains the rules, which is reference the rule to open the UI rule. So the main rule which is going to be displayed to you is called as harness. In Pega that is actually we called as harness. Okay. So the harness is the visual component for your UI part. Okay. And within the harness you have section. So section is the actual component which is getting to be displayed. So harness is also provide you the layout. So this actually, this harness is the layout is header, left, main, and footer. So this is a screen layout which is used here. So if you see the live UI, you will see that structure. So if you see this one, so if you see, you can see it here. So this is the developer portal. The scheme used is the Designer Studio, and the harness name is PJ Studio. Okay, so the same name you can see it here, PJ Studio. Okay, and within the PJ Studio, you have 4 types. So you can see that header, Explorer, Studio, and your footer. Okay. So that is the 4 section within the harness. So if you see, actually I'm going to open the harness rule with that. So harness is the rule which like give you the layout in the What was this? Pget space. It should open Pget. It should open the Pget Studio. Okay, so it might be I clicked something else there, so it's opened some of the other portal from there. Okay, so here you can see that whatever information you are seeing it in the header. So that actually this is a screen layout. Okay, and then within that you are designing this complete things. So this is that all the information you are seeing it here: purchase, the application name, launch, then create. In this side you can see that operator menu and all other information in that one. Okay, so this is the header, and this is the you can see explorer area, and this is your work area. Okay, and this is your all the developer toolbar. Okay, which is actually designed in this way. So each of them are each section. So whatever the things you are seeing it here, so it will be one section is included here. So if you see from harness is actually here, is designed the layout for your portal, which what type of you want, so that you can go with that one. Okay, so if you see with the section is including a header sections within that. Okay, in harness actually like we can see you can include this thing screen layout, or you can go with the container. Okay, so normally like in if you are using container, you are able to customize your own way of sections. So currently like this is a so if you say like I'm going to create a test harness. Okay, so I'll show that one how that will be look on that. So if you see from here action tab, I'm going to create a new harness. So Pega provide actually for to assign performance and everything. Pega provide 4 default harness. Actually, we'll see actually that one. Actually, we are working on that when we'll go to the case manager on there. So that is actually we call as new, confirm, perform, and review harness. Okay. I'll show you actually like in future classes what is the 4 type of harness which is coming from Pega world. Okay. Which is Pega out of the box feature. So here actually like I say I just given the name of test harness. Okay. So actually like it's part of the Designer Studio, so that I can use the anything which is available in Designer Studio, I can able to use that from that. Okay. So by default actually it will go into actually like you see here you can have a container here. So you can drag a section here. Okay, in that like you can put some currently there is nothing in that. So if you see by you can go for dynamic container as well. Oh, dynamic container I cannot put. So if you see still in this, it should be within the section only. Dynamic container I cannot put. So if you say I want to change with the screen layout, so it will change the view from screen layout. So here feel like you can choose what type of format you can choose in the screen layout. So this is the format which is used for your Designer Studio. So same way we can design that way. So let's say like I'm using the same header with the studio header. The PJ IP. It's the PJ studio header only, right? So now you can see that it's actually like I can reuse the section here. So that section actually is included in this one, in the harness. So this is actually see, this is actually your harness. Within that, we define the look and feel of it. So this is actually like which layout we want to use or which container we want to use to display that. So that we can decide into the harness rule. And the main rule, which is actually that is actually your section rule. Okay, so this is actually your the main rule, which is actually you provide that actual graphical representation of your rule. Okay, so here you can see that the screen layout and container is not there in this. So in section you cannot use uh, container and screen layout. So that is actually only applicable for the harness rule. Okay, so if you see that options are not here. And if you are going for the custom one, actually like if you say actually on this, the portal which I'm going to use as a custom one, so that I can harness, I can design from my end. So that still like will change the on that. Yeah. So section rule is actually the basic rule which is going to be displayed to the user. So here actually what we can do, we have different type of layouts. Okay, so you can see you have layout sections. You can include a section within a section. Okay, then you have layout groups. You have tabs. So like if you want to, so this is the tab view. You can see that this is a tab view. Okay, and accordion actually that the you want to show in a one only will be active at a time, so you want to display in a accordion view, so that actually we can achieve from the accordion. And the dynamic container actually like if you want to change on the click of something, you want to change the container of it, then it will be called as dynamic container. So that may contain multiple items, multiple work case can be opened from that. Okay, so that actually we can see as dynamic container. So if you see you have this one, so if you see the home, you can see that. So if you see in that it using a tab. So this is a tab group. So within that, so we can see within the tab, it's actually dynamic container is used. So this is with that. To the tab itself, actually we are putting a dynamic container. So every time if you want to include a new tab, so dynamically it will be populated. So there is no define previously. So if you any rule if you are going to open, so that it will be going to open in a new rule or new tab with that. So that actually normally we call as dynamic container. So this is actually like, oh, this is a different, oh, this is that PDN overview and all. In the work group, we are displaying that. So this is the part of it. It's actually within that again we have multiple items are open from that. So currently this is the home, how home is designed. Okay, in dynamic, actually how these rules are getting open up, so we use that way. So this is the and if essentially we are going to create our own sections within that. So here we have test harness. So here actually I'm going to create my own section. So if you see what the section name you want to see. So if you say I want to give the test section here, and I need to create the sections. I can create in this way also. I can create it, go and create sections from there. Okay. So here actually I'm just using the same tools, test sections. So by default, it will come with the dynamic layout at the first. Okay. So what is the layout? I'll tell you now. Okay. So layout are different types. So dynamic layout are responsive in nature. So actually like what is responsiveness? So responsive is another UI concept. Actually like your application will be changed with the device. Actually, like if its screen width is different, so your screen will adjust with that. So if you are seeing the same application in mobile, how it will look like into that. So normally that is will be called as responsiveness. So we define the breakpoints. So at what width of your resolution, it will change the look and feel of it. Okay. So that actually we design that in scheme rule. Okay. So then the dynamic layout are mainly like all the layouts we are designing, we mainly use the dynamic layout. Okay. So within that dynamic layout, different layout, so you can see other layouts are also available. Dynamic layout, column layout, and freeform layout. So freeform layout are not responsive in nature. So as a Pega best practice, don't use freeform layout. Actually, if you want to customize some very specific screen, then we go for freeform layout. You want to do specific thing, you want to merge many things within that, so then we can go for the freeform layout. So there actually you are free to put the many options in that one. So that doesn't require any formatting or anything. Actually, that will be not in a layout format. So if you drag the property, you need to decide the length, weight, where it should be displayed. All the things need to be captured from that. Okay. And repeating layout. So repeating layout is for the list items. So if you say you want to display product list or you want to display the vendor list, okay, your shopping cart. So how you are going to display that? So that actually for that we can go with the grid items. Okay. So that actually we have multiple options in that. Repeating dynamic layout, grid is like your Excel. If you want to tree-like structure, so if you say in your organization you have 5 managers, within the 5 managers you have 5 more reportees in each one of them. So that time we can go with this tree and T-grid view. Okay, so that will give you tree grid view. So one actually level will be there in the manager. Within that you have some manager level, and within that you have some more level. So that we can display within the tree architecture. And if you want to display in a column format, you can go with the, so either you want to display in a row format, repeat, or you want to display in a column. So you can decide with that one. Okay, so that is the column repeat or the dynamic repeat. And if you want to display that in a tab, so that we can go with the tab repeat as well. So all the cases will be open, and then we can work with the tab repeat as well. And when we are displaying the grid, so to say I use the grid now. So grid has completely different. So if you say you are, this is actually called as header, this is actually footer, okay, and this is the main content on that. And you need to decide that from where it is going to take the values in the repeat grid. Okay. So we have created a data page, right? Yeah, I think we have created the product, right? So let's see, actually we want to display the product in that one. So let's say, so in repeat grid, so in the source, actually like for every layout, you have a properties window. So if you click onto the gear button, it will open the properties windows for you. Okay. So this is the properties window, and actually I can go with the data page d underscore products. Yeah, d underscore product list. Okay. And if you want to do for pagination, you can go with the pagination. And this is the header footer. If I remove that, the add delete item and the below one will be not displayed. Okay. So if you see, it's just displaying it, this one. So there I can go with the, so in this actually like I need to go for what I actually want to display. So this is the label. So if you see product name, and if I want to increase more column, I can go with this multiple. Okay, so that same thing I need to map it here as well to display it here, the property. So product name, okay. So this one actually I have created from my end. Actually on that day I think I showed you a test UI as well. So this will be like if you say I want to go with the preview of it. Okay, so this is actually like the look and feel of that thing, actually like the way I designed the list item. So that actually I can test it with that. Okay. So and actually like this is the repeat grid layout. Okay, and if you say like if you want to convert into a tab, so that also we can able to achieve that. But so in the tab it should be some limited options should be there. So if you have actually like 2 or 3 options, we can go with the tab options. If you have more than that, we should not go for tab view of that. Okay, so now if you see there are actually if you see in that we have controls. So we have actually different type of controls we can use in the UI. So we have labels, so that are used as a label, and this is the text input. So these two fields are used in the layout. So if you want to individual label, so if you say I want to include it, one field here, this is the label. Okay, this is used to test label. Okay, so I can go with a different format. So this is the scheme rule. If you want to change anything else, so you can go with the advanced look and feel of that. You can change it from here. So here you can see that you have a lot of options are coming. So we say I want to display as a uh, failure, something like failure. Okay, so that it will display in the red. So this is the predefined rules which can be used to display the style on that. Okay, so if you say you want to use a any other thing, actually like if you want to use a icon image. Okay, so in the image you can pick from the image library. So if you say in that what you want to display, so I can like say standard icon. I want to display an image. So what image you want to display? So I can go to the Pega has there is an image library, so we can go with display that. Okay, so if you say holiday, no, location, no, let's see something. Yeah, some of them are coming on the right. Let's actually just we are using this field, okay, that we can include that. So the image actually can be included in that way. So that image is not coming into that one. And if you see you want to use a button, you can go with the button on that, and you can see selecting that, submit. Okay, so these are actually called a different type of button. You can also change the look and feel from here as well. So you want to change that is a checkbox. So that will be changed now. So that typically like based on the control, it will change the drop down options and the look and feel option. So what is the checkbox option, caption you want to give? Okay. So if you say you want to see marital status. Okay. So that will be converted into a checkbox. So that will be displayed in that. So the same field, if you want to convert into radio buttons. So it will now change to radio buttons. So there you select what you want to display. And there is like a tool, right? That how you can want to make it always visible, always disable, required. You can control it. So you can write a condition to control the visibility of that. So actually, like you say, if I'm currently like if you can see, it will be visible. Okay, so now it's changed to radio options. So that you can change with a different format. Okay. Okay. So say you want. So these are actually you can have multiple fields drop down. So these are actually like the basic things, and there are some advanced controls also available. So that actually like smart label, okay, autocomplete. So the difference between autocomplete, drop down, okay, and radio button. If you have 4 or 5, you can go with the radio button, okay, and if you have like 100 between that, you can go with the drop down. If you have more than 100, like 500, the list of countries, right? So if you're typing the country name in okay, or some other name like US or Canada, right? So you are going to find the name of the country within the list of that. So if you see C, it should bring the name of that, all the country name with the C. So that feature is actually like normally in the UI concept, we call it autocomplete. Okay. So that is we can achieve from the autocomplete. So if the number of is more than 100 or 200, we can actually plan to deploy that as a autocomplete. So if you say the number of products, so that will be more than 1,000, right? So if you are looking for a product and if it show you a drop down, if you're just scrolling down to get the name of it, so that will be not a good design. So if you have more than that, you should go and design with a autocomplete one. Okay. And if you want to include chart, you can go with the chart part of it. And in the menu option, I can include a menu. So if you say I want to include a menu. Okay. So currently like the menu rule, I'll just create a dummy menu rule. I'll show you that. So I just created a menu rule. Okay. So here like I'm just putting some name. I'm not going to create action now. So it will just display a menu item now. Okay. So it is a product list. If I can save here. Oh. Okay. In the vendor list, I can add it like in the menu option. I can add in the child option also. So it is in the vendor. So that within the vendor actually see with that category I want to see. Okay. So this is the menu rule, just basic menu rule. I just created that. So if you see now, then submit it. Oh, run and preview same, but okay. Oh, where is my button? Menu option. Oh, sorry, I think I need to. displayed here. I don't know, menu rules is it's not coming here. I think we have, if you have used in the case, it will be might use to display that. Okay, so this is the way we can. It will display the menu rule, same like if you see you click onto that. So this is a menu rule. Okay, so normally in Pega we call it navigation rule, that one. So you just if you can see this menu rule, it will be similar in that way. If you see in the live UI, I want to display that menu rule. I can able to open that. So that I can go to the sorry, live UI. I can go to that section. I can see that out. What is actually in there? So this is, if you can see that there is a menu bar. Okay. So normally it's a different. Oh, it's using a different control. Okay, this is a deprecated control menu bar. Actually, in earlier days, actually they are using a menu bar in Pega 6. Now this is replaced with the PX menu. So that was changed. So okay, I need Internet Explorer to see this deprecated control. I cannot see that in Google Chrome or Firefox. So some of the controls are actually like from the previous versions are still in use, but because before Pega 7, it was just single browser. Okay, just Internet Explorer was used. But with Pega 7, multi-browser was also started for development, also for other purpose as well. So they make the Pega in the multiple browser as well. Okay, so these are the some of the things which will be useful to understand the UI concept. Okay, so how we can going to design more on that? So based on the so let's actually we are going to design a credit card. Okay, in the payment, I'm going to create a credit card data type. So there I'm going to create a page. So here I'm going to create a credit card. I think I can just use a card. So the card will be same for debit card as well. So I'm going to create a new one as a card. Okay. So I'm going to create a new data type. So it's now it's created. The card is there. So now I can go and add fields with that. So let's say card number, card status, card holder name. Then you have expiry date. Okay. No, first is your start date. So that I can go with the date only. Then you have expiry date. That we can go with date only. Okay. Then you need the CVV number. So that we can go with the encrypted one. Oh, that option is there in that, but here I'm not able to see that. Okay, so actually I'll create it from as a text. okay, and then where we'll change it later. Okay, so if I just go and see, oh, I cannot change it. I want to change that to a encrypted text. Okay, because I don't want to display the CVV number to be displayed there. So let's actually we're going to delete it from here, and we can, what's the approach actually in this scenario, we can go with the, we can go to that class and we can create the property from there. So this is, we are going to the data card, and there I'm going to create a property. So that will be, I can able to choose the type of field from that. Okay, so that's actually fine. So I can change the type of the fields now. So I can have an option for text encrypted. Okay. So that actually it will be to show the encrypted now. Must have a rule access when rule. Okay, so that actually, okay, that we need to define here. Oh, okay, so what actually the benefit of this is, actually, did you see when you see your Wi-Fi password, right? So see you go to your Wi-Fi setting, and sometimes actually you have show password option, right? So that actually like based on that, it will going to see your that is you want to display the CVV number is display, so that you can just create a dummy when rule to display that field. I need to specify any condition first. So let's say I'm just giving the this is we are creating that. So we need to one more field for that. Okay, sorry. So if you say I'm using a Boolean field here is display. Okay, and I can able to use the same field here also is display. Okay. So directly if we say this is true, we are making that when condition to true, and then we can able to display that field as well. Okay, so that's the properties now created with that. Then actually if you can replace this one, if you will see the CVV as well here. Yeah. So like now you can see the test encrypted here. Actually otherwise we are not able to create the test encrypted here. So that actually in that one we can create in that way. Okay. So this actually just want to create a fast layout. So if you just want to, so what's the benefit of actually like that? So you don't need to refer the page. So if you say every property is here, and I'm just going to create a look and feel of the UI. So let's say I'm going to create a sections from it. Click on view. Okay. So let's say credit card. we can say card details. So let's say we start with the card number. So just drag the fields, actually it will pick up from that. So card status I don't want to display, expiry date, okay, and then CVV number. Okay, this is the field I want to display, and actually is display as well. So he will pick up that one to display that field. So this is like I will able to create the UI for it. Okay, and if I want to change the look and feel of it, I can change. So actually say I want to display the expiry date and CVV in same place. So what I can do is I can create a one more within the layout. So actually if we say I want to display everything in one line, so I can change the layout format to inline. So everything will be in a single line. So all have become to single line. Okay, I want actually like 3 to be displayed in one line. I can go with the inline grid triple. So this I want to display 2 of them together. I can change the look and feel of it. Okay, so that's actually the different feature available as in the UI. Okay, and the scheme rule. So actually I show the different options, right? So you have the scheme rule which decide the look and feel of your scheme. So here you can see the dynamic layout. So if you see go to the inherited, so these are the different options available. If you want to choose, you can choose this many options from there. So inline grid 3070, inline grid 7030, stacked with label space, button bar, portal header, mimic. So actually like we just now check with the inline grid double, inline grid triple. So these are the different options which is available in that. And if you click onto this, you will get the lot of all the different UI components, screen layout, panels, action area, button area, model area, overlays, okay, different type of containers, layouts, tree grids, how you want to change the behavior of that. There are different labels, text input, formatted text, checkbox, how you want to control and look and feel of that, you can able to do it from here. So if you have menus, how you want to display the menu. So if you want to display in standard tab, header menu, primary navigation, case actions, so that you can control directly from that. Okay, so this is actually displayed in the case actions. If you see it's an icon toolbar, so this will be displayed in an icon toolbar. So that actually is the scheme rule. We can create our own scheme rule as well. So this is the drop down. Actually, the drop down. The only one thing is standard is there. Checkbox. If you will see, like horizontal, vertical will be there. How you want to display your checkboxes, radio button. So in button you have like smart, like the how strong will be displayed in different color. So this is the strong. If you want to full width, so that will take the full width of your screen. So that you can decide that how you want to display your buttons, so that we can control the look and feel of that. And if you want to create your own, so you can create change all the features what is there is displayed here, and you can just save as from here. So if you save as with the new name, then it will be displayed in my format. So let's say actually I want to change that one of the feature of the scheme rule. Okay, so if you see font size, I increase to 15, and I'm saving as. Okay, so that's the dashboard one. So I just want to create as a dashboard 2. So now it will be displayed in my format. Oh, it's not coming. It will come. Oh, actually it's not saved. Actually it's, I need to check out first, then only able to do it. Okay, sorry. Okay. Something wrong. Actually display. Let's see now. You can include your own company's CSS files directly using the included styles. So if you have predefined things, we can include as well. Okay. So that actually is the different concepts we should know about the to start with the UI part of it, and we'll see some more bit when we're going to in further one. Okay. So we'll stop now and we'll continue on Monday. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jacob. Thanks, Keshwan. Bye bye.